Hi guys, Patch Drury, award-winning writer, published cartoonist, board-certified hypnotherapist, and Daemon enthusiast. And I've been wondering lately if I should change that to Daemonologist, but I've kind of like, that may be confusing, but that's a decision for another time. Today we're discussing what may seem like a strange question. Does the Daemon want you to get a divorce? And I'll get into why we're asking that question here in a few minutes. But first, I want to start with a PSA, a public service announcement around this topic. If you are in an abusive relationship of any kind, verbally, mentally, physically, yes, the Daemon wants you to get out of there. I want you to get out of there. Your mom and dad want you to get out of there. Every relationship has conflict. Every relationship has disagreement, but abuse is something different. And so if you're looking to the Daemon for a thumbs up on getting out of an abusive relationship, stop looking and just get out. Okay. But that is not the crux of the conversation that we're going to have today. Why would the Daemon want you to get a divorce? Well, a lot of times in our life, we make decisions that are egoic decisions. They're based on our ego needs, and our ego needs are often around protection and fulfillment and gratification. And sometimes one of those decisions might be to get married. And at the time, it seems like, yes, this marriage fulfills a need that I have, and so I'm full bore into it. And it may be the right decision at that time, but then as you maybe discover the concept of the Daemon and look to it for purpose, and you strive to hear the Daemon's will, to discover your daemonic purpose, the daemonic plan for your life, then you may come to the conclusion that this marriage doesn't really fit with that plan. And so you may start asking yourself, do I need to stay in this marriage? And so that's kind of the crux of the question. What if an ego decision you've made in the past, like marriage, seems to conflict with the daemonic plan? And the first thing I want to say to that is the Daemon can be negotiated with. I have past videos about this topic. But the Daemon, the Daemon has the things it desires for your life and your plan, and you may have egoic things that you desire for your life that may be in conflict with those daemonic needs. And there is the opportunity for negotiation. And what I mean by that is that the Daemon, I believe, resides in our unconscious, and Jung used to talk about the unconscious, especially like in relation to the self. Like, we can look at the unconscious, and it has a storehouse of information that we don't necessarily have access to. So we might imagine it as being wiser and knowing more things than we do. And so when the unconscious asks something of us or wants us to go in a certain direction, we may just think, okay, yeah, well, that's what I need to do because I'm operating from a limited ego experience. But what Jung would say is that it's not that we just need to turn over all our ego priorities and thoughts and values to the unconscious and go steer into that skid, but instead we need to learn how to marry the two, so that the wisdom and the information that resides in the unconscious doesn't overtake the ego, but it marries the ego, so that you can learn to make those two things work together in harmony, so that you don't have to throw out your egoic needs. You don't have to get rid of the things that make you feel safe and protected and valuable, but you can marry those things to the wiser, older, daemonic subconscious needs. So that's the first thing to say, is that in asking the question, does the Daemon want you to get a divorce? It's not going to be a hard yes or a hard no. There is room for negotiation. The other thing I think is important to talk about here is that sometimes, in spite of the ability to negotiate with the Daemon, sometimes the Daemon does say, hey, this decision you made doesn't fit with the direction we're going, And sometimes that's really clear to you, even from an ego perspective. And that marriage, that relationship, that commitment, I'm making this about marriage, but there are lots of social commitments that kind of fall into this area. Sometimes you can see that, yeah, this doesn't feel right. I'm on my second marriage. The woman I was married to first, we both kind of came to a place where we both realized, the good that was being created by our commitment to each other is kind of outweighed at this point by the good that would be created by us being apart. And that was really clear to both of us. And so we decided to get a divorce. And sometimes it's not clear to both parties. Sometimes it's just clear to one party. And that can result in a lot of hurt. Sometimes the commitment you made, as much as I endorse, I stand behind the idea of, if you've made a commitment, if you've made a vow to someone, you should keep it. But sometimes that's not the right move. Sometimes that commitment, that vow, is no longer serving the purpose it was meant to serve. And so you may have to cut ties with some people. So how do you know when it's time to do that? Well, unfortunately, there's not a one-size-fits-all cut and dry answer. That's something you kind of have to determine for yourself with the person you're committed to. And it's really hard because, when you think about it from a standpoint of, well, what feels good, it may feel good to run out of there like a crazy person as fast as you can, but that may not be, what feels good isn't always the right thing there. The right thing is the right thing. Is there room for negotiation? Is there a way to make this demonic call and this ego relationship work together? Is there counseling? Is there therapy that's needed? And if there is, then I think you owe it to yourself and you owe it to that other person and the commitment you made to at least explore those options. And sometimes it's clearly obvious that that's not the right thing. And so if you came to this video hoping that there was going to be permission to rush into a divorce, I'm not here to give that, but I'm also not here to discourage a divorce if that's the right thing. So basically, you need to spend a little time weighing your commitment versus the demonic need, what the daemon is expressing to you, if that makes sense. So that's the idea here, is that, it could be that your demonic will, the demonic call on your life, conflicts with previous decisions that you've made, that's almost always going to be the case. There's going to be some point in your life where a decision you've made conflicts with this new future version of yourself that you're moving towards. And it's best to kind of make peace with that. And, it sucks when it involves other people to the degree that the dissolution of a marriage or a relationship would involve other people. But ultimately, I think the good produced in your life and the good produced in the other person's life benefits from that honest look at the whole thing and an evaluation, a decision made soberly on that evaluation. So anyway, does the daemon want you to get divorced? Maybe. Well, I hope that was helpful. And if you're not married, if you're not in a relationship, I don't think this video is useless to you. Because like I said, you can kind of apply this idea out from any kind of social contract that you have. And we all have social contracts with our families, with our communities, with our friends and individuals and everybody. So in asking yourself, do these social contracts conflict with my current understanding of the demonic will? That's a lot of thinking you got in front of you. So good luck with that. So anyway, guys, thank you guys for watching, and we'll be back with another one soon.